The Prime Minister will create history tomorrow. He will be the first ever Indian Prime Minister to visit Israel to meet with its Prime Minister Netanyahu. Ahead of this historic meeting, Israel has gone into raptures of India and the Prime Minister in particular. One would have thought that the infectious joy of the Israeli government and its people and some of its diplomats would have rubbed off on our own polity, on our own netas back home here in India. But unfortunately, the opposition in India has undermined the Prime Minister's historic visit today by injecting a divisive communal twist. The Congress, Asaduddin Owaisi and the left are tearing into the Prime Minister for not stopping off to visit Palestine over the next 3 days. Listen to their reasoning. This is why they feel that the Prime Minister has snubbed almost 120 lakh Indians by not stopping over in Palestine.
From last 7 decades, the cornerstone of our foreign policy has been support to the Palestinian cause. Now, what we are seeing here now in the 3-day visit of the Prime Minister, he is not going to meet the Palestinian authorities. He is not going to visit the occupied territories which have been occupied by Israel, which India has been consistently talking about it. 7 decades of our policy, foreign policy, has been a support for Palestinian cause. So I hope that the Prime Minister in his 3-day visit to Israel will also visit the occupied territories, would meet the Palestinian authorities, because there are many countries in the world who, despite maintaining diplomatic relations with Israel, have condemned Israel's occupation of Palestine. And it is also very unfortunate that UNHRC had found that Israel has committed war crimes. India was one of those 5 countries which abstained from voting. We have, since last 80 years, we have been supporting the Palestinians. That has been the policy. What we are seeing now is a complete change in that policy.
There was a difficulty in the past. The difficulty was with regard to the historical position that India's always had with regard to the Palestinian question. Unfortunately, this government, of course, does not have that ideological hangover, because they have not been a part of the anti-colonial struggle. So therefore, the Prime Minister has decided to go to Israel. It would have been good if he would have visited the West Bank and the occupied territories also. But be that as it may, even stand alone, if the relationship between India and Israel goes forward, it's in the interest of both the countries.
It should not be at the cost of our traditional friendship with the Palestinian people. There is resistance to Israel because US and Israel have formed an axis to undermine the Palestinian cause. In this context, India's closeness to Israel should not become an issue for our traditional friendship with Palestinian people. So India must keep all these sensitivities in mind. And right now, Prime Minister's visit is being hyped in a big way, but it should not lead to some kind of tilt towards Israel and US-Israel axis in West Asia. Thereby, India's position should not be suspected or questioned by international community, particularly the Arab countries and the countries of West Asia.
The objections, and you've heard those objections, are transparently political and communal. For India's opposition, Israel is a terror state, guilty of war crimes and illegal occupation of Muslim lands, and therefore the Prime Minister's visit is insensitive to the feelings of Indian Muslims. This is hogwash, complete and utter hogwash. I charge the opposition today for being selective, and I'm asking a few questions up front. If Pakistan is in illegal occupation of Indian land in Kashmir, then why do these parties advocate better relations with Islamabad? Didn't the Congress engage Islamabad? Didn't UPA governments engage Pakistan? If Israel had committed war crimes, why did the Congress government establish diplomatic ties with Israel in 1992? If it was an illegal occupation of Palestine in Muslim lands, then why did the Congress in 1992 under P.V. Narasimha Rao open doors for diplomatic relations with Israel? Didn't UPA replace the words condemn with deep concern when referring to Israel's aggression with Palestine? Why did they soften their stand? And let me ask a fundamental question. Did the Congress ever ask some of its own prime ministers, the Dr. Manmohan Singhs of the world, the Indira Gandhis of the world, the Rajiv Gandhis of the world, to visit POK when they went across the border to hold talks with their Pakistani counterparts? No, they didn't. So why should there be a different standard being applied to Prime Minister Modi? By alleging a Hindutva link between the Prime Minister and his desire to engage Israel deeper, is the UPA putting vote bank politics above the national interest? And did appeasement politics prevent the UPA from reciprocating Israel's help to India in the 1971 war? Israel has never stood on the fence like Iran has. For example, when it came to helping us during the 1971 war or the 1999 Kargil conflict. Isn't it true that several Arab countries have their own treaties and relationships with Israel? They don't seem to mind. So why? Why should an Indian Prime Minister be held back from advancing the country's national interests? These are some of the fundamental questions that need to go out. And the opposition better have an answer, because otherwise they will prove my point that they are being duplicitous. I want to first begin with Dr. Subramaniam Swamy, someone who is credited with beginning the engagement through backdoor channels and through other means with Israel. Dr. Swamy, the opposition says that we have committed a massive blunder, that the Prime Minister should also have visited Palestine, and that by not going to the occupied lands, the Prime Minister has upset Muslims, and that he has also let down what we as a nation stand for. How do you respond to this, sir?
Well, first of all, it's ridiculous. Are they saying there is a Hindu foreign policy and a Muslim policy? Why should the Muslims be upset? If they are Indians, they should look at Indian national interests. Is the Prime Minister pursuing India's national interests? Now, second, as far as making a visit also to Palestine, what is he going to discuss there? Because the problem we are having with the Palestinian Authority is that Hamas, which is dominating it, they say we want to destroy Israel. Israel is a recognized member of the United Nations, and the Hamas is just refusing to yield. So then the whole thing is in a stalemate, because there can be no further discussion. So why should the Prime Minister waste his time going to Palestine? So I would say that we have pursuing a policy of strategic relations with Israel. They have many things to give us: electronics, weaponry, sophisticated weaponry, information on terrorism. And what is Palestinian in a position to give us? Israel can help us desalinate seawater, can give us drip irrigation for transforming agriculture.
With Iran, India has had deep ties with other Muslim states. And we have, of course, our own population of almost 11 to 12% Muslims. Now, are we alienating those Muslims, and are we alienating those countries that have stood by us through thick and thin all these years, especially Muslim countries?
Well, that is an insult to the Muslim community. I know a large number of Muslims who want to go to Israel to go to Al-Aqsa Mosque. We have ministers who are Muslims, M.J. Akbar, Naqvi, so many. Najma Heptullah is a governor. So I don't think that they can say that they represent all the Muslims. And we are going for our own strategic interests. And this is a decision which we have taken. We can't take Congress party's policy and take it forward. We thought it is a failure. So we are trying to do it in a new way.
Okay, Dr. Swami, we'll have to see how this visit turns out, but expectations are high. The Israelis, in an unprecedented manner, are going to accord an honor that has only been reserved for the Pope to the Prime Minister. So obviously, they are putting a huge premium on this relationship. Thank you, sir, for joining me this evening. I want to throw this open. Ratan Sharda with us this evening, founding member of the Center for International Studies. Major General G.D. Bakshi is with us. Zafar Sareshwala, Chancellor of the Maulana Azad National Urdu University, Tehseen Poonawala, commentator and columnist, and Dr. Fuad Halim, spokesperson for the CPIM. I want to first begin with you, Dr. Fawad Halim. Why are you communalizing this? Your own party compatriot, or a party that is in alliance with yours, the CPI, Mr. D. Raja, has come out and said that, oh, you see, we have historic ties with the Muslim countries, with Palestine, and that the Prime Minister should have visited the so-called occupied lands. Now, I don't remember the left or your ally, the Congress, ever calling upon its own prime ministers when they were visiting Pakistan to visit POK, for instance. I don't remember that. Why a different yardstick for Prime Minister Modi?
Rahul,
Yes.
Rahul, first thing, I object to your changing the words that Comrade D. Raja used. You see, Israelis are also Arabs, and Comrade D. Raja very categorically used the word Arabs and not Muslims. But since you are using the word Muslim very clearly in your conversation and your questions, then I will assume that the government of India's idea you are reflecting, and the government of India has accepted that the question between Israel and Palestine is actually a question between Israel and the Muslims, because you seem to be asking the question in that way, and definitely the government of India has given that sanction. Even though I go through the documents of the government of India at this point of time, I do not see the government of India actually using the word Muslim over there. So that's my first objection to the way that you are placing this entire conversation and context in. Number two, there has been a paradigm change in the foreign policy pitch of the government of India at this point of time. And that change in paradigm is very, very disturbing, because over there we are seeing a freedom struggle being conducted, and it has been the continuous support of the government of India and the position of the government of India to be with all such freedom struggles, which this government is actually reversing. And because this government is actually reversing that, we have expressed serious concerns and reservations. We need to be very clear that this change that Narendra Modi is bringing about is going to be to the detriment of India's position in the international community.
I'm only asking you a specific question, sir.
Supporting
is
freedom
Pakistan
struggles across
not
the board.
in illegal occupation of POK?
Yeah.
If Pakistan is in illegal occupation of POK, then the same standards must be applied to Pakistan also. And India should not have diplomatic ties with Pakistan. It's a very simple question. I'm sure that a large number of patriotic Indian Muslims will find it very offensive. That Pakistan is in occupation of large parts of Kashmir. It's a very simple. Don't. First of all, Israelis are not Arabs.
Rahul, your hashtag is Israel first, not Pak. Okay.
Yeah, Israelis. One second. So, Israelis are not Arabs.
Let me finish off with Israel. We will come to Pakistan.
So let me correct you.
Let us come.
Let us finish off with Israel. Israelis are not Arabs. They are Jews. Only 20%.
The Israeli population is an Arab population.
Only 20% of that population.
The people who came to occupy Israel came from outside.
No, 1 second, sir. Please, let's get the facts.
That's what I'm saying.
I talk in facts.
The people who came to occupy the land of there came from outside.
No. So did those that came to occupy.
The original Israelis are Arabs, and they stay over there.
Kashmir came from outside. Why don't you oppose talks with Pakistan? After all, that is also an occupation force.
Let us finish off with Israel and then we'll come to Kashmir.
I'm only
Rahul.
asking you to explain why are there
let us
two
finish
different
off with
yardsticks? One
Israel fight.
for Mr. Modi and a different yardstick for your own government.
We are coming to that. If you give me the opportunity. Number one,
when Mr. Gujarat went and did
policy change
diplomacy, 1 second, and bilateralism with the Pakistan's Prime Minister, you had no problems. You didn't ask Mr. Gujarat to travel to POK, did you? I'm asking you, why didn't you?
Yeah. Now the question that is there is that on the question of whether the Prime Minister should go to Palestine or not, it has always been the sustained effort of all dignitaries from the Indian country to actually go to Palestine because they have got our concrete support. It's not fraternal, it's not diplomatic.
So follow tradition. Mr. Ratan Sharda, follow tradition. We should have also gone and Matha Tekod in front of the in front of the PLA. We should have also Matha Tekod in front of the Hamas leadership.
It does not give clearance. It does
and of course, that is not expected of any Prime Minister when he visits Pakistan.
Palestine territory.
I need him to come in.
Let's be very clear, Rahul.
Okay, fair enough.
So it is not as if the two things are congruent.
Right.
If the government of India had negotiated as with earlier dignitaries who's visited that area, the Prime Minister could have visited and could have made that effort.
Okay, now you made your point. Let me open this
and
out.
actually being present in the Palestine territories.
Okay, so you're repeating yourself continually. Now let me open this out. I'm sure it's not lost your point on the other very bright individuals on this panel.
First of all,
Mr. Sharda, respond please.
Yeah, first of all, our foreign policy, the so-called tradition of foreign policy, had two distinct features till Modi came, or when P.V. Narasimha changed the narrative. It was vainglorious, global image, kind of self-deluding image that Nehru nurtured for himself, that led to so-called non-aligned movement, which was tightly tied down to a communist worldview. Then there is something like a timid, which resulted in China being offered the UNSC seat, which resulted in Tibet being handed over by the Nehru government to China, which resulted in what we are facing today in India on the whole of the north border. Next, there is something like a timidness. So we did not speak to Israel for so many years, while they were very favorable to us, because in Nehru's own words, our Arab friends will be upset. Arab friends don't get upset. If you look at what Modi has done, Modi has gone to all the Arabic countries. He has got wonderful relations. In fact, Abu Dhabi, imagine, which doesn't allow any exhibition of any religiosity, allowed Murari Bapu after this. So this is the kind of relationship that is built on confidence and strength. Yes. Only in 1992, P.V. Narasimha Rao created an official channel with Israel.
The Palestine
and
people
today,
don't matter to
sir,
you,
listen to me. You spoke for 10 minutes. Let me finish. I am just taking 1 more minute.
Does the freedom struggle of Palestine matter to you?
Please. I'll give an example. What happens to the non-aligned movement?
Diplomacy. Talk about the people of Palestine.
Just a moment.
The commitment of the RSS to the people of Palestine is zero. That is what you want to say.
Let me finish
the rights of POK Indians matter to the left? No.
Don't tackle. It's a serious
I don't know.
Now imagine what non-aligned movement did in 1962. In 1962,
issue the RSS and the BJP have misunderstood
Rahul, can we kindly comment?
They are in a soup themselves.
Yeah, Russia did not support India. China, when attacked in
RSS is categorically saying that the people of Palestine do not matter to them.
No,
there
please.
is documentary evidence of Nehru asking
Let the RSS crass character of not being in the people's movement anywhere be reflected in the foreign policy of Narendra Modi.
1 second, Mr. Fawad Halim, please don't overspeak.
I have not a single unitary one-eyed vision like Communist Party. I am saying Israel came to support of India in 62. Then it came in support of India during Kahuta crisis. It was Israel which came with US when India was attacked in 1962. When communists opposed India, supported China. When Russia supported India, that is what non-aligned movement did. What does timidity do? Timidity does that Mr. Manmohan Singh goes to Egypt and agrees to Balochistan interference where there is none. So if we don't have a very confident Prime Minister and foreign policy, this is going to end up. Now tell me, Palestinian, how many Arabic countries are supporting Palestine today apart from, just vocal noises they make? None of them has gone against Israel now.
And in
Egypt,
fact, when it came to voting,
Syria?
when it came to voting in the,
first of all, you have to admit
whether
that
it is
Israel
this
will
government
exist.
or the previous government, we supported Palestine. So
Rahul,
there is no abnegation of any Palestinian rights.
Israel exists.
I want to bring in General Bakshi. General Bakshi, Okay, I want to bring you in, General Bakshi. If Pakistan is in illegal occupation, and it's a direct question, General Saab, if Pakistan is in illegal occupation of Indian land in Kashmir, then why do these parties, whether it's the left party, whether it's the UPA led by the Congress, why do they advocate better relations with Islamabad? Why are they so soft on Pakistan and so harsh on Israel? Perhaps you can explain.
Rahul, I would like to state unequivocally that every country must protect and nurture its own supreme national interests. And the supreme national interests are focused upon the preservation of the nation state. In these terms, the support that we have received from Israel is immeasurable. In the 1962 war, in the 1965 war, even though we had no diplomatic relations and we wanted weapons and ammunition, it was straight away given to us. Thereafter, they helped us upgun the T-54, T-55 tanks, the Saltam guns. They have given us the AWACS. They have given us the aerostat balloons. They have given us the medium-range, long-range Barak 8 SAMs, the ground version, the naval version. They have given us the Pinewood radar, which helps our anti-missile defense, ballistic missile defense batteries.
Yeah.
They have given us the Spider anti-aircraft missiles, the anti-tank guided missiles, and they have given us, they have set up in India factories that manufacture the Galil and the Tavor automatic rifles and the machine guns. They are partnering with the Reliance for manufacturing air defense.
Absolutely. The Arab world hasn't even denounced terror unequivocally from Pakistan.
What
exactly
Arab countries given us? What have the Arab countries given us?
What have they given us?
I would like to ask you. And number two, I would like to ask. And
Rahul, I would like to
ask. No.
Rahul,
I would like to ask. Just give me 30 seconds more, Rahul. 30 seconds more. 30 seconds more. If all the major Arab countries have struck peace deals with Israel, why should we be holier than the king? Why should we be more loyal than the king? Not have good relations with Israel.
Rahul, I need to come in now. I need to come in now.
Absolutely. No, 1 second. Don't get excited, Mr. Poonawala. Don't get excited.
I know. I need to come in now.
No, 1 second. I'm asking you three questions.
No, there's a lot of...
No, 1 second. No, 1 second, Mr. Poonawala. Let me ask you the three questions. Don't get excited.
No, I will not allow you to use your channel for propaganda.
No, there's no propaganda. These are facts. Arab world hasn't denounced... You answer me. Has the Arab world denounced terror that is coming from Pakistan unequivocally? You name any country that you have engaged over these 50, 60 years, Mr. Poonawala, and I'm talking about the Congress. Arab world hasn't denounced unequivocally terror that flows out of Pakistan and bleeds India. Number two, Iran, who you give such a premium to, under your watch, Iran was given an exalted status. It takes an obtuse position on Kashmir. This is a fact. Let's not try to run away from this. It's an absolute fact, sir.
Rahul, today Manish Tiwari refused to name PV Narasimha Rao. That is the
1 second, sir. 1 second. Did the Congress party, Mr. Poonawala, ask Rajiv Gandhi? Did it ask? And you know what I'm talking about. The Camelot years, the flirtations with Benazir Bhutto. Did you ask him to go and visit POK? You tell me. You tell me once that this happened. Why are the same expectations...
So now I'll answer your questions.
No, why are the same expectations then not of Mr. Modi? Why is he always targeted for putting India first when it comes to this issue?
First of all, Rahul, as an atheist born to an Indian Muslim mother, I welcome Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
Sir, speak like a Congress sympathizer. Don't bring in religion.
Now.
Don't bring in religion.
Now. No, I am not. Will you
answer my three questions.
I am saying I visit. Do you have?
We have romanced the Arabs for years.
Number two.
What have we got from the Arabs? General Bakshi has asked you a question.
Will you stop interrupting me?
I'm echoing that.
Speak. I am answering what General Bakshi said. Will you please let me speak? Thank you. First of all, it's great if Prime Minister Modi is going to Israel. This must not and should not be made a communal issue at all. I absolutely object to the Owaisis and others who try to make this a Muslim issue. This is not a Muslim issue. As so far as foreign policy is concerned, it has to be above your domestic policies. Coming to certain lacunas or facts that Mr. G.D. Bakshi missed out on, or General G.D. Bakshi missed out on, General G.D. Bakshi said there were no diplomatic relations with Israel until P.V. Narasimha Rao. He forgets that it was Prime Minister Nehru who recognized the state of Israel and allowed them to open a consulate in Mumbai in 1953.
After all the
but he recognized it. I will not be interrupted because I didn't interrupt anybody. Point number 2. You also forget that it is the Congress government of P.V. Narasimha Rao who allowed for full-stage diplomatic relations with Israel. You continuously forget these.
So then why hasn't any UPA Prime Minister visited? Why did Dr. Manmohan Singh was in power for 10 years?
Now since you're running,
P.V. Narasimha Rao was in power for 6.
Please let me finish talking.
He never went to Israel. Why didn't he go to Israel? Israel has supported us in 1971.
Why did Atal Bihari Vajpayee not go to Israel?
Supported us in the United Nations Security Council. Supported us at the NSG. I'm asking you.
Is Atal Bihari Vajpayee communal?
I'm asking you,
why did Atal Bihari Vajpayee not go?
I am asking you a simple question.
Is Atal Bihari Vajpayee communal?
Will
you let me talk without interrupting me?
No, 1 second. Remember,
Thank you.
Atal Bihari Vajpayee was in a coalition government. Excuse me. Atal Bihari Vajpayee was in a coalition government
of 22
parties.
So the UPA was also coalition government.
Excuse me.
Manmohan Singh was also coalition government.
No, 1 second. There were enough people who were also at that time.
No. Now you've
pulling him down.
Facts.
No, I'm sorry.
Let me speak, sir.
I am sorry.
No, I am sorry.
You cannot compare.
I am sorry.
You cannot compare oranges and lemons.
Sorry.
You can't. Rajiv Gandhi came in with a ferocious majority. He never went to POK. I'm asking you, why should we be more bothered about Palestinians? No, 1 second. Look,
I'll answer it.
The
Prime Minister Modi came with a majority. Why did he go uninvited to Narasimha Rao to Nawaz Sharif's wedding?
Have you ever asked
why did Modi go to Nawaz Sharif's daughter's wedding?
I'm asking you, sir. Have you asked any of your prime ministers to
go to POK? Why is Modi not gone to POK?
No,
why is Modi not gone to POK?
I'm asking you this question.
Why is Modi gone to Nawaz Sharif's wedding?
I'm not raising
this
issue.
What a petty way of debating. Like women fighting on the street, you don't have a solid point.
Now to come on television.
What kind of foreign policy discussion is this?
Target Narasimha Rao.
What kind of tutu mem on a foreign policy discussion? Please come to points. Please make some sensible arguments. You're welcome.
Please come to the point and don't talk rhetoric.
I said, no, you never named P.V. Narasimha Rao. I said he's the one who changed the dialogue.
What you say.
You don't even listen. You come with a predetermined view and you start speaking.
Listen to me. I don't want to hear you. No Muslims in this country have an objection to India's foreign policy. India's foreign policy must meet our times. At the time it was right to recognize Israel, India did. At the time it was right to have diplomatic relations with Israel, it did. If Prime Minister Vajpayee did not go, so then Manmohan Singh did not go. If today Modi ji is going, you also forget and conveniently do not add.
Then why is the entire team of the Congress, look at Mr. Singhvi today from the podium of the party, criticizing the visit? Why is Manish Tiwari doing so? Several leaders of your party today have come out from the party platform and, 1 second, you can't speak in two voices. Just because you're getting married, just because you are not being able to answer the question, you are not changing the goalposts. I'm sorry, I'm going to take a short break. We'll be back on this debate in precisely 3 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, stay with me. We are back in 3 minutes on this debate. Zafar Sareshwala hasn't had a word. We come straight back to him and Tehseen Poonawala. Don't go away. The Israelis are talking up the Prime Minister's historic visit to Israel, which begins tomorrow. But the opposition in India is not enthusiastic. In fact, it's critical of the Prime Minister, saying that he should have actually visited Palestine also. Because the Muslims in India, because many who are concerned about human rights will be very, very upset. Some of them miss the point. We are debating this issue and I want to bring in Zafar Sareshwala. Zafar Sareshwala, you're a Muslim. Are you upset that Prime Minister Modi is not going to visit Palestine? That he is not going to Mattha Teko in front of Hamas?
Rahul, actually to pose such a question it is insult to the collective intelligence of Muslims
Rahul.
of the country. I mean, for God's sake, don't make Indian government's foreign policy a Muslim or a Hindu thing.
I'm so glad you
But coming
said
to
that.
your moot point,
Because that's how
You
the
know, Rahul,
opposition is viewing
these
it.
people-
Thank you, Zafar Saab.
That's because the Congress party, the left, and others view it
I
like
mean,
this.
this
Don't
is-
lie, Rahul. The Congress didn't take a Muslim position.
Let me
I will
take,
not have you lying on this.
let me
It's
play
wrong.
it out. Let me play it out.
no,
let me
no,
play it
no,
out.
no,
We
Congress did
have
not say
Manu
Muslim.
Singhvi.
Rahul, no.
One second. We have
are
Manu
making
Singhvi.
this an issue of
Did he
the
use the word
freedom
Muslims?
struggle.
One second. Mr. Zafar Sareshwala is speaking. Let him finish.
Did he use the word Muslims?
Let him
Let me
Use the word
finish.
complete.
Muslims. I object
him
to it.
finish.
Don't do that, Rahul.
Rahul,
Yes.
he did.
Rahul, I want to remind these people, you know, who started the first visit to Israel even before India had diplomatic relationship. We had a chief minister called Chimanbhai Patel of Congress who first took a big delegation to Israel in 1990. And he started building up this, and it culminated in Narasimha Rao's tenure, building full diplomatic relations. Now, for God's sake, I want to ask one thing. You have full diplomatic relationship with Israel for 25 years. Year after year, you are buying billions of dollars worth of goods. You have no problem. And suddenly, this question. Now, I want to pose one very important question here. Rahul, I asked one very senior diplomat who's a Muslim, and he was ambassador of India to Palestine. And 2 years back, I asked him, when this government came, that, sir, you let me know what's the difference between them and this government vis-a-vis to Israel and Palestine. And you know what he said? Zafar bhai, koi fark nahi hai. Sirf itna fark hai कि वो नेतन्याहू को बंद कमरे में मिलते थे, ये खुल के मिलते हैं. बस इतना ही फर्क है. और वो लिप सिंपैथी करते थे, ये असल करते हैं. Can you give an example? Mahmoud Abbas, as president of Palestine, visited India. Now let me complete, please. He came to India in 2012, and when there was a joint press conference, Manmohan Singh ji announced $10 million worth of aid to Palestine. That aid did not go to Palestine in 2012, 2013, 2014, they were voted out. Out of that 10 million, 8 million was disbursed by Modi government. And they built a university, a college, a hospital. So we don't want lip sympathy. That they have been doing with us for 70 years.
No, Zafar bhai, you're wrong.
Muslims don't want lip sympathy.
The university.
That you just come there for the sake of it.
No.
Do something tangible. And no. Why did Manmohan Singh announce $10 million and 2.5 years?
Zafar bhai, I agree with all your points, but let me correct you factually. Zafar bhai, 1 second, I need to correct you factually.
You bought the
I need to correct you factually.
You bought weapons from Israel. Why? To finance their occupation of Palestine. I'm asking you, then you should not have done business with Israel. You shouldn't have bought the weapons from Israel.
Rahul.
No, you can't have it your way all the time.
Rahul,
I'm sorry.
first of all, I agree
the Congress party has touched an issue at a time when you should be standing in unison behind the Prime Minister when he is going to be given a historic, unprecedented welcome in Israel. You are picking and nitpicking. And that is very sad. We should be standing as one. And you are using, you know what you're doing. You're playing to a particular gallery by raising Palestine.
You are playing up sentiments on your channel.
No, look, I don't talk.
1 second.
I don't talk in cloaked terms.
Now you listen to me.
I speak
I have to make a few
frankly. I'm
points.
asking you, why did you do business? Why did you do business? Why did you do business with Israel? Why did you establish diplomatic relations with Israel? I'm asking you.
You've not shown me where Abhishek Manu Singhvi used the word Muslims. You've not shown me.
It's not about that. We understand when you use the word Palestine, what do you mean?
No, so now you go back on your words.
It's not about human rights, clearly. If it was about human rights, you wouldn't have engaged Israel in the first place.
Now, point number
why did you engage Israel?
No Muslim. Rahul,
I'm asking you, sir, why did you engage Muslim? Why did you engage Israel if you had such concerns about the occupation of Muslim lands? It's a fact. It's a fact, sir.
Rahul, I gave you example of Nehru himself, who said he didn't want to displease the Arabic friends. That is the level of discussion we have on foreign policy. It is the same policy we were afraid of the oil countries. Does he remember that in OPEC, Indian Muslims are not allowed to speak? That is the kind of poor foreign policy we had.
One
Have
second.
And your
only
father in terms of
Bakshi.
colonialism,
People around you are talking.
he looked
Let
at
me talk.
India through Chinese glasses, and he supported China in 62. What kind of colonial struggle Faudal is talking about? Those who supported
Now,
1942 the British, they are talking of colonial
Zafar Sahib
struggle.
made some points.
They asked British to break India into 8 parts. They are talking of colonialism,
colonial
fight
struggle
against
that you all did not
colonialism.
fight against. No, I know, Mr. Ratan Sharda.
Fawad Ali have a habit of heckling everybody. Please have some decent debate. Your habit of heckling even a serious debate is very poor.
You did not fight against the British and you did not
Rahul, I
consider the
did
British
not
to
want
be a
this kind
colonial
of person
force.
in the debate
So you are
who
the
doesn't make any
anti-national force
sensible
that does not
argument.
understand
shouting.
the freedom struggle that is
afraid he'll be
taking place
exposed.
in Palestine.
What have you got
don't
for
have a
India
sense
which
of
all
understanding what a freedom struggle is and what India's commitment to freedom movement across the globe should be.
Those communists continue to support
India's foreign policy narrative.
Let's throw the faders so I can bring order to this debate. In the meantime, let me bring in General G.D. Bakshi. General G.D. Bakshi, you heard the position. Please, I want to ask the director to lower the faders. Please, we can't have this speaking across everyone and over everybody every night. It doesn't help anybody. General G.D. Bakshi, I want to ask you, sir, very simply.
Rahul, I just want to make
1 second. General,
why don't you
please, I don't want this crosstalk. Can the director follow my advice for 30 seconds, please? I am lowering the faders. Please.
But you all interrupt us when we speak.
I am lowering the faders, sir. No one is interrupting anybody. I am interrupting all of you. Now let me bring in General G.D. Bakshi. General G.D. Bakshi, we are being told right now that we are letting down the Palestinian cause, that we are doing a disservice to our own stated position against imperialism, and we are furthering the cause of colonialism. Could you respond to the Congress and the left here?
You know, I would again reiterate, Rahul, that in the real world, every nation protects its vital national security interests first and foremost. It is India first and foremost, and some highfalutin principles later. We did that in the Nehruvian era when, you know, we were putting the interests of world peace over the interests of India. We wanted the Chinese in the UN Security Council, you know, rather than India, which was supposed to be there. You know, and so many such examples I can say. I would again like to reiterate, when the Arab countries themselves have made their separate peace with Israel, they have made their compromises on the issue of Palestine. Why should India be the foremost Arab country and take up the cause the Arabs themselves have now let go of? When the Israelis are going out of their way to assist this country in the 62 war, 65 war, 71 war, and today they are giving you cutting-edge technology. When Uncle Sam denied you the attack drones, they have given it to you. They are giving it to you. We are getting 10 of the Heron armed drones.
Yes.
You know, no other country is prepared to give you this. Yet we must sucker up to a set of countries which have not supported us on Kashmir.
They have never supported us on Kashmir.
How long will we go in for this?
Dr. Fawad Ali, let me ask you.
Can I answer
the
without
Arab
being
world.
interrupted?
1 second.
Days
Dr.
of
Fawad
very,
Ali,
very
ideological
foreign
position
policy
to
has
satisfy
gone.
some
Keep it
leftist
short,
parties.
Dr. Fawad Halim.
You
I
have
don't have
left
much
it behind
time.
now.
Others are waiting to speak. I want your response in a minute. Dr. Fawad Halim, what have we got out of the Arab countries? Not even an unequivocal support on our position against Pakistan or Kashmir. Why shouldn't we look at someone who's willing to help us, especially when the Arab countries have done their own backroom deals with Israel?
See, let's be very clear. I fully agree with Zafar Shareswala when he says that this issue should not be reduced to a issue concerning Muslims. This is our foreign policy narrative, and our relationships with Israel have to proceed in light of our commitment to Palestine. It's not an either-or situation that one is advocating. One is saying that one has to exercise one's foreign policy narrative, keeping the balance and India's commitment to the freedom struggles world over. One is not saying that you negate. What Israel is doing in Palestine is what Pakistan is doing in POK. So let's be very clear. If we are choosing only Israel, then it's going to impact our foreign policy narrative very, very broadly. And the Prime Minister, it behoves the Prime Minister not to cancel his visit to Israel, but actually to continue his visit in Israel, keeping in mind that he needs to visit the Palestine territory and the Palestine people.
Sir, Palestine,
that's a balanced foreign
Palestine,
policy
you never
narrative,
ask any of
keeping
your
our
prime
history,
ministers
legacy and
or
commitments.
those that you have supported to go to POK. I can't understand this. Nonetheless, let me bring in Mr. Zafar Sareshwala on this, as well as Mr. Ratan Sharda. Yes, Mr. Zafar Sareshwala.
See, I'll tell you, yes, you go to when Mahmoud Abbas came just few months back.
Yeah.
That's the best of India's foreign policy. Rahul, you remember, we hosted Turkish Prime Minister, and 2 days before that we hosted Cyprus Prime Minister.
That's right.
Two sworn enemies, but we are for nobody. Here, Mahmoud Abbas was hosted, and the Prime Minister is going there. You know what? We don't want lip service. We don't want support of Palestinian by words. Action speaks louder than word. Actually, this government has done by action. They have built hospital, they have built a university, they have built a college.
Can I please come in?
The Palestinians don't need hollow words. They need action. So this is the real foreign policy, independent of Palestine and independent of Israel. And what our Prime Minister said, that we support the cause of Palestinian, the just cause of Palestinian, which Mr. Modi said in front of the whole world.
Very well spoken.
When Mahmoud Abbas came. So
Tehseen
our
Poonawala,
commitment towards Palestine is not
the
lost.
Prime Minister is not paying lip service. You have paid lip service. UP has paid lip service.
You're missing out
you
the
respond
point.
to
The
that
present
charge.
Israeli narrative
You promised
is a
money.
narrative of
It never
aggression
reached
towards
Palestine.
Palestine.
This
No,
government,
Saraswati, you are very well
this
informed
government,
that the foreign minister of Israel has
One
very
minute.
categorically said that the Gaza should be annexed.
Fawad Ali, come out of communist glasses. Let me tell you, the whole problem with Israel-Palestinian issue is that Arabs, Palestinians refuse to recognize that Israel's right to existence. They continuously negate the very existence of Israel. That is the reason there is no peace there.
Yes.
Peace will come when they agree that Israel has a right to
Ratan
exist.
Sharda, please don't
That is the
misinform.
point.
Please don't. A lot of
Mr.
water has
Fawad Ali, your
flown
so-called
under the bridge.
anti-colonialism,
Please don't
which
misinform. Ratan Sharda, you're not aware of the present status of the Palestine position on Israel.
Oh, come on, sir. You're the only one who's aware.
No, Ratan Sharda, why are you misinforming?
You don't want to allow anybody even a
aware.
single valid point or rational point.
The Israeli position at this point of time,
Just because it doesn't suit your narrative doesn't mean that it should get down. Excuse me.
Fawad Ali is behaving like a
Excuse me,
school
sir.
dropout.
Just because it doesn't suit your position, doctor, it doesn't mean that
Fawad Ali,
others are
don't
wrong.
speak like a school
Your bluff
dropout.
is being called out.
Let me tell something
Rahul, I
more.
need to come in.
The question of colonialism, fight against colonialism is lost in Cold War rhetoric.
But
it
that
is no more valid.
So then why are you gripping?
That
If
was
there is so
valid.
much
China
understanding
will
of
not
the
be
narrative has
propping
changed,
up
then
North
aapko kya lagi?
Korea and
Why
South Korea.
are you gripping?
China won't be
Let the Prime
lording
Minister
over
do
the
what he's
South
doing.
China
If
Sea.
there's so much
What kind of
understanding,
Gaza
let it be.
added areas.
No, then
China
why are
would
you
not
colonizing
colonize the
issues?
southern part of
aggressive
China.
policy to move in that
What kind of
direction?
anti-colonialism you are talking about? What anti-colonialism? China is lording over South Sea. China is lording over Korean areas. China is lording over Vietnam. He's trying to have a complete hegemony over the whole Southeast Asia. What kind of colonialism you are talking about? Please come out of ideological framework.
Why do you run away to China all the time?
Remove your
Because
glasses.
it brings out your
Israel,
own
what is
point.
what is colonialism?
Let me bring in Mr.
No
Poonawala.
Rahul,
Lip service was paid by UPA.
They are
You
going
need
to be
respond
aggressive. Does
to
the
the
government
charge
of
that
India
has been
support
made
it?
by Mr. Zafar Sareshwala. Very pointed questions have been asked. If you were so concerned about the Palestinian cause, why is it that the UPA did nothing for the Palestinian cause? You bought weapons, in fact, from Israel. Financed the occupation of Palestine. Why did you do that?
There has been a
Saudi Arabia exports terror. There fights against Qatar. What kind of colonialism are you talking about?
Of discourse
What kind of
that
self-interest are you
several
talking
governments
about?
have expressed of different political hues.
Doctor, let's
be very clear.
Mr. Poonawala
And
speak up
that
for
is
the Congress.
represented by
The
the
left
balance
is speaking
between
more
having
for
a
the Congress
relationship with Israel
than the
and
person who is a
continuing with the
sympathizer of
commitment
the
with
Congress.
Palestine.
Let the sympathizer of the
And Narendra
Congress
Modi is
speak.
taking a step to break that
No,
understanding.
one second. Let the sympathizer of the Congress speak. Why is the left leaping in to defend the Congress so much? Relax. 1 minute.
Let's have lost all the
Mr.
relevance.
Poonawala asked you a very direct question. I'm asking you, if Pakistan is
I want to
the
answer
illegal occupation of
you're-
Indian land in
Cold War
Kashmir,
era.
then why do
That's
these
all.
parties like yours advocate better relations with Islamabad? Point one. Please respond to that question. One. Two, why were you buying weapons from Israel? Were you doing it to finance the illegal occupation of Palestine? Two questions. Answer them.
Rahul, first of all, I will answer what I have to answer before I clear all these
No,
doubts.
you answer
First
the
of all, I agree
questions
with
that
what
you're here to
Dr.
answer.
Sareshwala said. That is exactly the points I
Hey?
made. You never interrupt anybody else. If you want to continue interrupting me, I'll keep quiet. You continue to argue.
interrupting me all the time.
So I agree with
Don't
what
throw your toys out to the pram.
what
I'm asking
Sareshwala
you two
said.
direct questions. You're not answering the direct questions. Now you're
So I
behaving
will
like a
answer
child.
them. I
Be
will
direct.
answer the direct questions. I'm not be. Please, I agree with what Sareshwala said. This policy should not be made a Hindu-Muslim policy. As Zafar Sareshwala rightly said, it is the Congress governments that started diplomatic relations with Israel, and that is how foreign policies work. You work in the interests of the country. Point number two, that it is...
Which country?
that it is, when the Palestine issue came up, the hospital and the university to be built in Palestine was sanctioned by Manmohan Singh. The payment was supposed to happen after it was made. The funds were supposed to be released. That is clearly in the agreement. Look at the fine print of the agreement. Now to come to the issue. That Prime
I'm
Minister
coming to
Modi
the issue.
endorsed
You haven't
the
answered
UPA
the question.
policy and
Why
the
were you
policy
buying
before
weapons
that. I am
from
answering
Israel
it.
to
That
finance the
Prime Minister
illegal
Modi
occupation of
continued to
Palestine?
endorse
Yes or
it.
no? I'm asking you.
A month ago, when the Palestinian president came to India, Prime Minister Modi endorsed the UPA policy, speaks volumes of the UPA
It
policy
doesn't
and the
matter,
Congress
sir.
policy.
He was
You
acting
cannot
in
understand
enlightened
this, come here.
self-interest.
You have not.
He
you
was
have
being
not-
absolutely
you have not-
upfront.
You
You were
used the word
playing the
Muslim.
backroom game.
You used the word
You were being-
Muslim.
No,
I
you
am
were paying
telling
lip
you.
service. That's the
You
charge
used the
that
word
Mr. Zafar
Muslim.
Sareshwala
Show
is
me where the
making against
Congress
the
leader
UPA.
used the word
You never
Muslim.
came out in
Show
support.
me
That's
where
why
the
your Prime
Congress
Minister
leader used
never
the word
travelled
Muslim. Show me
to
where the
Israel.
Congress leader used
That's
the word
the reason
Muslim.
why. आप भाग रहे
No
थे
Congress
Israel
leader
से.
used
You were
the word
running away
Muslim.
from Israel
Why did you
because
use
you
the word
wanted to
Muslim
tell
on
the
us?
world,
Rahul,
नहीं
can I
नहीं,
kindly
हम तो
comment?
holier
Use
than
the
thou
word
हैं.
Muslim.
General Bakshi.
No, but why did you use the word Muslim on your show?
You know,
Which Congress leader used?
when
Show me the
narrow,
bite.
no, kindly,
Show me the bite of the Congress
kindly.
leader.
Kindly, let me
Sir,
let
one
me
second.
have my
This
say.
is misinformation propaganda
Excuse
going
me.
on.
Excuse me. You
Sir,
are
I have
the
not got
only
my
one on the
CS yet.
debate. No,
अरे
sir, I have
Palestine
got
में
my
कौन
say
रहता है,
yet.
sir?
Can you
Who
heard
lives in
you?
Palestine?
No, we've heard you.
Dance. Are you trying to? No. Are you trying to fool
The-
people again?
I said, look,
One
the
second.
anchor asked
No,
me
you
I
try
need to
take
wrap
that
this up.
misinforming people.
I'm running out
Okay,
of time.
just a
General
minute.
Bakshi has 1 minute, please. Please.
No,
General Bakshi,
Rahul,
please.
Rahul, when narrow, petty, parochial party interests override national interests, then it is a sad day for the country.
Yes.
The whole Palestinian issue is tinged
Who's
with
did
so
it?
much emotive content because of narrow consideration of vote bank politics. You cannot let them override national security interest. If Israel is helping you with
Spoken
critical
like a
military
realist.
technology, it
Spoken
gets
like a
primacy in
Was
my
Prime Minister
worldview.
Modi doing
No, one second. He's spoken like a realist. I think he's cut straight to the heart of the issue. I'm wrapping this up. Navika Kumar joins me on the news hour. On the news hour, Navika Kumar looking at another very divisive issue. Navika Kumar, Owaisi Jr.